Welcome to the shed, where we talk about everything from life to love, tragedy, joy, happiness, heartache, but most importantly, we talk about golf. I've been doing a lot of thinking, a lot of soul searching, and I really would like to give something back to the golfing community. I have worked so hard at becoming a better golfer, and unfortunately, a majority of that work was misdirected, was spent inefficiently, I guess we could say. That being said, I also wonder if possibly the reason that it eventually clicked was okay. So this is where I'm at. I'm kind of in a toss up. Like, did I finally get the information that made sense, or was it all the hard work finally paying off? I don't know the answer to that. So I would like to believe that I could simplify the learning process and eliminate all that trial and error that I went through. I don't know if I'm able to do that. I honestly don't. The reason I'm doing this is because I think I can, but I can't promise you because I put in a ton of work. A lot of it felt very unnecessary looking back. I absolutely know that a lot of it was that a lot of the stuff I was working on was stuff I probably didn't need to work on, or wasn't as important as some of the stuff that I hadn't yet gained control of or mastered. I don't want to say mastered, but grasped, I guess. But I wanna see if I can take you to a scratch golfer step by step. Now, we got to get a few things out of the way. In order to be a scratch golfer, you have to be able to have or deliver power. So have enough athletic ability to deliver enough power to the golf ball in order to, reach greens in regulation, to not be hitting, a 3-wood into every green, to just make the game a little easier. I mean, unless you just become the world's greatest up and downer, and even then, it's just impossible to scramble that well, that consistently. So what we have to determine is are you trying to play from the back tees? Are you trying to play from the whites or the middle tees? Are you older, or so young that you should be playing from the very forward tees? That's going to be up to you. But regardless, I think that it's important that you determine or grab hold of how to deliver the most amount of controlled power to the golf ball that you are physically able to. So that means taking out all the power leaks. Now, too, I don't want you to be playing from the very forward tees and hitting a weak ball, but able to get away with hitting a weak ball because you're playing so far up, so short. I want you to push yourself. If you hit a golf ball correctly, what tees should you be playing from? Those are the tees I want you to play from. I don't want you to cop out and play forward because you don't hit the ball with enough power. Not that you don't have the power, but you don't hit the ball with enough power. Now, if you flush a ball, you swing correctly and you hit a ball, and you are still having such a long shot into par fours, then yes, that's playing the four tees is fine. But I don't want you to play the four tees hitting a high weak fade, with a weak shot, but getting away with it because you're playing so far up. So for me, I can comfortably play the whites, right? And I'm a smaller guy. I'm 132 pounds. You know what I mean? 5'8", 132 pounds. I'm a stick. But I am athletic, and playing really long courses, hitting the ball well it's a stretch for me, but it's something I've been working on, and I'm getting longer and longer and longer, and I'm also being able to control my ball better. I'm able to, shorten holes just by playing the correct angles, shaping my shot correctly. And also too, I realize that I have to play smart, and I have to play consistent playing from the back tees. Like, I have no room for error. So I have to play off the tee well in order to have a shot at par from the back tees. Now, I've done it many times, but it doesn't take much for things to get squirrely playing a long course from the back tees. Playing from the whites, I can get away with squirrely. You know what I mean? So I carry the ball 240 to 250, after, decent roll. I'm in that 280. I can get it up to, 290 in optimal conditions, and I can be as short as 260 in rough conditions. So, 260 wrong side of the fairway on a long par 4, we've all been there. It's nothing nice. So, first and foremost, we have to hit the golf ball with power, regardless of what tees you. And I'm not saying everybody's power is different. I'm not saying we all have to hit it a certain distance, but we all have to maximize our distance, and that means striking the golf ball correctly, consistently. So that's where we're going to start. We're going to talk about what I believe and what I've found the keys are to striking a golf ball with the most amount of power available due to my size, strength, weight, athletic ability. And first things first, we're going to start with is the grip. Now, I have no idea where this neutral grip has become so sought after, ideal, popular, and I'm sure that it's beneficial for some players, but just about everybody I see could, and I'm talking dudes that bomb it, and I don't know if that's just because they don't release properly or what, but majority of people I see, their grip is too weak. They don't set up in a position to get their hands behind the club to deliver power. They're in this flimsy, right? So you're neutral here. They're flimsy when they need to be powerful, like they're going to deliver an axe blade to a tree. Okay, you wouldn't do that holding the axe like that, right? You wouldn't hold the axe like this and hit it like that with the blade pointing that way, right? So you wouldn't. Look, do I have one? We got something, I'm sure. So we'll just use a saw. That's why we're in a shed. So you wouldn't hold it. Let me scoot this back a little bit. You would hold it like this and go, you would get it, here, and get behind it and deliver it like that, not like that. You would get behind it and deliver it like that. Sorry for the bad prop, but it's what I have right now. So grip. What are we going to do? Same concept here, right? So if you're going to hammer something, right? If you're going to hammer something, you wouldn't hammer it like that, would you? Would you hammer it like that? Or would you get behind it and hammer it like that? Even if you do your arm correctly, would you hammer it like that? Or would you get it back here, get behind it, and hammer it with your weight behind it and hammer it? So, grip. Strengthen your grip, right? That means here, boom, grab. Here, support, right? So your support is here, your lever is here, right? So you're bracing and you're hitting, bracing and hitting, right? So when we take that back, we're delivering the club head to the ball like we are driving a nail into a board. I mean, right behind it, bracing up against this side, and just unloading on it. You have to swing free in golf. Like, if you do not let it go, you're done. That's just bottom line. If you try to control that kind of speed and that kind of power, game over. You're done. You gotta let it go. Now, that doesn't mean you swing wild, out of balance. Though I'm not saying like that. What I'm saying is you have to swing with conviction, okay? And you have to deliver the club to the ball with power. And to optimize that power, you need to have a stronger grip. You need to have your hands out in front of you, not directly like this. like I saw an LPGA teacher saying that like this square right here, and you go like half back, like, and it was just such a weak shot. And it's like, cool, that's cool for a 10-yard, little pitch or something, but I'm trying to get this ball out here 280 so I can, not have a 4-iron into the green. Like, I got it. I don't need a triangle here. I need a jackhammer right here. So, and of all people, it's, it's a female, which, nothing against females at all, great athletes, but if anybody can't be just, throwing, stored up power like they don't need it to the wayside, it would be people like women and me. I'm right up in that category. I have to get every bit of power I can get. So we have our grip, right? Boom, boom. Okay. Next thing. Okay, we'll go straight up from here. I'm jumping ahead, but hip has to bump out, right? Hip has to bump out, and we want the stance a tad closed, okay? And the reason that is it just helps deliver the club from an inside to out path and really lets you release when you are perpendicular or even a little open. It is really hard without dipping, dropping back, which is taking your power away from the golf ball, to deliver that club from the inside out. You end up coming over the top, hitting across the ball, right? So you're hitting steep down on it, which is it takes power away. So you're hitting steep down on it, you're wiping across it, okay, and you're having to hold on, right? So you're not getting that full release. You're having to hold the club head open from either snapping it left, right? Or, it's just so many things that can go wrong. And from looking at my screen, I was actually looking at my swing from, I think as little as a year ago. And boy, dude, I was so guilty of this. And a big thing is I don't know if it's just the way my body feels, balance, orientation, the way my eyes, perceive things, but when I would feel closed, I would feel like I consciously closed, and I would look at the video and I would still be a tad open. So like I had to really feel closed, and looking on the video, that was still only barely closed. So here I was this whole time, thinking that I'm at worst parallel, and I'm open still. My stance is open, and I'm hitting the ball decently, but I'm not hitting it as far as especially like once I found out, ideal smash factor conditions, all that stuff, how far should you be going with, a certain club head speed. And here I am swinging the club faster according to the chart, and I'm 20 yards shorter. And so then I'm like, is it my clubs? So sure enough, I go and hit on a machine, and nope, it's not my clubs. My path is wrong. My angle of attack is wrong. My what they call the spin wedge. It's just, everything's not. I'm not hitting the numbers I need to be hitting, and a majority of it was just due to alignment. Just the fact that I was open, even though I felt closed. And I can also tell you that we have grip, right? We have alignment, so where are we to the target, right? And the majority of us need to be getting that extra distance. So again, not all, but I think just about all will benefit from a stance that's slightly closed. So looking at my feet now, tilt this down, looking at my feet now, I would like to see, tilt this down just a little bit more. Looking at my feet, I would like to see that you're closed and we're slightly fanned a little bit with our toes. So each toe's pointing out a little bit, right? So here we are. See, this is the target line, right? So we're going to get our grip, right? So here, over, right? Boom, here. So grip. Now, we're going to one of those, okay? So it's a diagonal up, a diagonal back, right? So now we're 45 would be right here. You know, we're just closed of parallel. So from there, I want you to bend right here and bump your hip. A lot of people say to bump your hip and then bend. Either way is fine. I find that when I bump my hip and then bend, it just doesn't feel the same as when I bend and bump my hip. Like that to me feels like I'm more in the correct position, or it feels like I'm getting into the right position, where the other way, bumping and bending, feels a little bit foreign to me, and it doesn't feel like I'm in that position I need to be in. Even though I very well may be, it's just a personal preference. I don't care. I'm just telling you my personal feeling about it. So I bend, bump, right? So when I bump like this, I'm not holding anything. I'm truly bumping, which means my spine, right? So I'm bending and I'm bumping, right? So that means my spine now is no longer this way, it's this way, and my head doesn't stay it also. So the whole thing, boom, right? So now I'm tilted away from the target. Okay, grip, slightly closed stance, forward, bump. Okay, now from here, this is key. We need to turn around this axis point right here. So we're turning right here. We're turning, so we're not going here. We're not adding. We're not dipping. We're not up. We're literally from here. We're turning, right? We're loaded on this back leg. I can feel a little bit of pressure on the inside of my lead leg, a little bit, but the majority of it is in my right buttocks and my hamstring. I can feel it, right? And right here I can feel a little crunch, all right, and a little stretch on this side. So here we're spinning around and we're loaded, okay? Now, this is what I used to be guilty of right here. When I would swing from here, I would come up leveling my shoulders, hitting, and then dropping. So very, very key that from that position, you're not hitting the ball like that, okay? You have to keep this tilt, right? Keep this tilt, bringing the club from the inside out, and your impact is away from the target. My hips, right, are out, okay? So I'm delivering the club right here. And then from there, after impact, the momentum of the club brings me up. So the momentum of the club brings me to a high finish. Okay, so I think a lot of people see the high finish, and that's why they go and hit like that. When really, you need to stay back, stay tilted, club from the inside out, okay? That full release right here, that high full release, that brings you up. That's what brings you up. So long I hit like that, coming up as I'm hitting, smothering the ball, bringing the club from the outside in, and now I'm delivering the club, which is keeping that delivering from the inside out now, right? Now full release out here brings me up and out to that full high finish. Okay, so that's very, very key. Grip, alignment, and keeping that tilt, releasing, and that bringing you out, right? So it's here, boom, you see that deliver, and then that momentum brings you up, okay? It can't be that. It can't be a leveling of the shoulders, a standing up and hitting the ball to a straight finish where you're already up and out. It's not the momentum bringing you up and out. Now, I think another thing too that is misunderstood is that people see the extending of that lead leg, right? So they see that extending of the lead leg, right? Posting up, they call it. So what happens is people don't post up correctly, which would be like this, right? With your hips out, opening up, but your tilt still away from the target and delivering that club inside to out and the momentum bringing you up. What they do is they post up, but letting everything, so they're here and they post up, which is that same effect of bringing you up out of your spine tilt before impact. Okay, very, very important. So what do we got? Let's do it again. We have grip, right? Nice neutral grip. I don't think so. Boom, roll it, support it. Roll it, support it, okay? From here, you can see I'm already naturally like so used to getting in this position, but from here, right, we have our alignment, okay? But I'm gonna go ahead and take a little tiny step forward, a little tiny step back, and I'm gonna make sure my toes are fanned out just ever so slightly, right? Pointing out ever so slightly like this, right? Nice. Not a wide stance, not a narrow stance, just a nice athletic, like if you were gonna throw a punch, That's the width of your stance. Now, if you can't fight and you fight like that, I guess it's a bad reference. But I guess one way to do it would be to think, what's supernatural to bring your feet in that position? Do you do squats? I mean, how would you do a squat? Would you do them with your feet super close together? Would you do them really wide together? No, just past shoulder, right? So shoulder should be on the inside of your insteps, right? So to do a squat, right? That's like where you're getting that power from. So we're just that wide, toes just a little bit flared, a little bit closed, grip. Okay, now, yep, see that? Bam. Here we go. Okay, I'm ready to chop some wood. Okay, now from there we're gonna tilt or bump, whatever you prefer. But I like to tilt and bump, right? Now from here, I feel like I'm just turning over this back leg. Okay, so I'm maintaining this spine angle, and I'm turning around it, which is going to bring my shoulder lower in the front and higher in the back. Okay, from there I'm turning, but I'm not coming up, I'm not transitioning forward. I'm putting the weight on this lead leg, but I'm almost bracing against that lead leg to keep my tilt away from the target. So it's here, right? So I'm feeling this right here, this turn, and I'm delivering the club inside to out, okay? And I'm letting the momentum of that club take me to a high finish. Okay, that high finish is nothing that I do, right? That's the momentum of the club ripping me out. That's not me going to finish high before impact, getting my shoulders level, getting too far forward, coming across the ball or smothering the ball. We need to, okay, boom. You know, I mean, I feel this right here that I could just crack something, boom, right with the back of my left hand, just ta-ta, Bruce Lee style. Okay, so here I don't feel like that. I feel like that shot right there is like a, what would I equate that to? Boom, maybe like a ping pong shot, you know, like getting that nice little flip spin on it to where you kind of got to get over and on top of it. But even then, I wouldn't be surprised to find out it's better to stay behind that too. I'm not a ping pong master. It's just kind of the feeling that I got when, you know, I don't even know what to relate that feeling to, but I can tell you that from here is a feeling of power, of really getting my hips to drive, okay? Bringing everything else around this tilt, this spine tilt, and just delivering from here right into the back of the ball, which really also, I mean, you should have seen the height. Like, I hit, when I first started to get this, like, my shots, not only the yardage I gained, which was substantial, but I'm talking the height on my shots was just unbelievable. Like, usually before, when I would you know, get a hold of one, it would be this low, really penetrating ball flight that I think, due to the fact that it was flattish, that it just didn't have the trajectory or height to even fully take advantage of the power I had delivered to it, while also it, you know, unless it was some very soft receptive greens, it would have a tendency to roll out, you know, a good amount, because they were such driving shots, which, you know, there is a time and a place, but that was my good shot. That was my best shot, was a low, you know, I guess Texas style penetrating ball flight. And now it's like I can I can send it. I can send it with the height necessary, to not only use spin but use trajectory to hold, greens. But I have the time, the hang time, the trajectory to fully take advantage of the power and the distance. That it had enough hang time and a good enough trajectory to really maximize the power that I delivered, and some of that power wasn't wasted on the come down because my peak height was so low. So I went from hitting a 9-iron probably 130 to 135 carry, to hitting a 9-iron 145 to 148. And like I said, I'm 130 pounds. Like, I'm not a big dude at all. And my drives were 220 carry, 250 roll. Now they're 250 plus carry, 260, and all the way up to 265, and finishing at that 280 to 290 range. If I crack one, in optimal conditions, I can get it 300. Obviously total, not carry, but I mean, dude, 130 pounds, like, that's pretty legit if you can send it 300 yards. I don't care if it's downwind, downhill, down cement. Like, that's a good poke. And that was key to my scores just starting to plummet, is because my good shots were not good enough to make golf easier. Like, if my best shot is 245 yards and I hit it on a 415 yard par 4, which isn't even terribly long, so now I got 165 into the pin, right? Well, so I got 165, but say it's a little bit of a dogleg right, and I've hit it down the left side. So now I've cracked a drive, and I'm 200 in, 190 in. So my best shot on a medium-sized par 4 is leaving me 190. Like, it's too hard to play golf like that. It's too hard to play golf like that. And I wasn't willing to play the 4 tees because I knew that there was more in the tank. I was assured of it. I just knew that, no, I've seen other people hit the ball. I've read the literature. I've seen my swing speed. I know, as I'm from being an athlete my whole life, from playing hockey, from playing baseball. I mean, I played hockey for years, and again, I was a little dude, and I didn't have the hardest shot, but I definitely didn't have the weakest, and I always felt like for my size, I could put something on it. And here I was, I was putting something on it, but not getting the results. So anyways, I know this kind of turned into a little bit of a rant. I just really want to build something. I want to help people. I want people to reach out. Dude, I'm not too good, too big. I'm just trying to help, dude. And so you want to send me something? I'll look at it. That's a fact. I'll look at it. I'll give you my opinion. I'll give you my advice. I'm not some guru that's going to sit here and tell you that I'm going to do this to your, golf game. And, we haven't even got into the putting and the chipping aspect of it, which is absolutely huge. But I don't know if technique is as important chipping and putting. I think a lot of it, that is more like consistency, being able to repeat something, and having touch. That's like the natural ability to touch. Like, when you play pool, can you hit a shot with a little bit of top left on it, bring it off that first second rail and have it finish in a general area. That's touch. That's just like the innate sense of balance and gravity that everybody has within them. Some people have a finer or are more adept to the subtleties and the touch aspect of sports than others. And I've always had a good touch. I playing basketball, playing all sports. I'm a good pool player. I can play decent ping pong. So yeah, I chipping and putting has really never been it's always been the strongest part of my game. But that being said, that took a lot of practice and a lot of work, and luckily that practice actually paid off a little bit more, because like I said, I don't think technique is as important as being able, like I said, to repeat consistent contact and having that touch and that speed and that feeling of how far do I need to hit something, knowing how far it generally rolls out, being able to read of is it going to land into the hill, is those kind of things, subtleties. But anyways, like I said, I'm not some guru that's going to turn your golf game around guaranteed or your money back, because for one, I'm not asking for your money. For two, dude, I really just want to help. I think that a lot of the stuff can get pushed aside. Like, I'm telling you, like, I got rid of a lot of swing thoughts and a lot of stupid little things I was looking for in the video once I kind of got this general concept of what it is I needed to do. And the reason I was able to get rid of those things is because once I started doing those things, the things that I'm now talking about that I think are important, I didn't need to fix anything, because I was hitting the ball hard, high, and pretty damn straight. So what really is there to search for when you're hitting the ball at what you feel is a good amount of distance? I think now the only way I'm getting more distance is if I get stronger. I don't think it's a technique thing. Now maybe you could unlock a tiny bit by taking some power leaks out of my swing. I would not argue that one bit, but I don't think like it's as drastic as it was. And I think now I would benefit more from actually getting more athletically strong, flexible. Those things would unlock more power, more so than the power leaks, because I feel like I'm delivering the club to the ball almost correctly, as the best as I've ever been. And so reach out to me, please, if you have any questions, if you have anything you want to see. I'm going to start posting some more like broke down videos. This is the first video. This is just me giving you a general concept of what I think is important. So I think you need to shore up the grip, which get a stronger grip, okay? Close your stance, okay? Tilt, bump, get that spine axis angle going away from the target, right? And you're swinging around on that, okay? The momentum of the club is going to bring you up out of it, okay? So you're not coming up and swinging. You're swinging and then coming up. Contact, momentum up, not contact, okay? If that makes sense. And like I said, I'll I'll throw out some more videos that are more broken down into, actual individual pieces. But, I wanted to get the important stuff. Sorry, battery's going a little. I wanted to get the important stuff, what is important, the things that I found that really fix my game. Feel free to talk shit and be like, this dude rambles forever. I ain't mad at you. You wouldn't be the first to tell me. I got nothing but love. I'll try to get better at what I do. Always do. Peace.